Hey, I'm here to do another retro trailer reaction. This time, as you can probably tell by this image, it's Enter the Dragon. This is the official trailer number 1 from way back in 1973 when I was a little sprog of only 4 years old. So I have no idea the first time I actually watched this film. I certainly didn't see it at the cinema by any means. I believe it's an 18 or what was known as an X-rated certificate film in them days. But I certainly saw it on TV good many years afterwards. Probably... I don't know whether I've seen it in the 80s. I guess it might have been the 80s. I might have seen it. I'm not sure. I don't remember it being like when it first came onto TV, you know. Back in them days, films from the cinema didn't come onto TV for a long time. So I'm sure it wasn't the 70s. But anyway, I can't really remember when I first saw it. But all I know, it's just a classic kung fu movie, isn't it? Basically, I remember. I think at that time I'd seen more Jackie Chan. I'm a little bit too young to have been a massive Bruce Lee fan. I remember seeing him on the odd TV program, the occasional bit in a film, and I was aware he was like a martial arts guy, and he was one that I'd want to sort of see at some point. But I only ever remember seeing him doing like little bit parts in movies, so I didn't really see an awful lot of him back in the day. And of course, he didn't really do a massive amount of Western movies, did he? Before his untimely and death at far too young an age, really. I think he only had did he only have about 3 like Western movies? I know he had a lot of stuff that came out in China, I believe. But yeah, very unfortunate early premature death. Same with his son, of course. Really bit of a curse on the family. Is it a curse? Who knows? But anyway, let's have a look at this trailer. Let's not bother talking about the unfortunate Lee legacy. Let's just watch this.
Williams and Lee, the Deadly Three, penetrate the secret chambers of an evil island empire.
What do you know about Han? He lives like a king on that island, totally self-sufficient.
He always had an interesting way of speaking, Bruce Lee. He always, obviously it's an accent, but he always kind of like, I don't know. He's very deliberate sort of speech patterns on this. I seem to remember sort of things like concentrate, you'd say, and I'm sure that was on this film. And he like talks about clearing your mind or something like that. It always seemed very kind of like mystic, kind of esoteric kind of knowledge kind of thing. But obviously playing the the kung fu master, like the ancient wisdom kind of stuff, I suppose. But the trailer here is saying that those 3 go in to try and take out these bad guys, but the other 2 guys aren't there for that at all, are they? The other guys are just there for the contest. The idea is Bruce Lee is the agent, I think, working for the British, I think, because I think it was in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong at the time was a British protectorate or something. It belonged to the British before we signed it back over to China in the 90s, I think. But yeah, so this Han, I remember he had a metal gadget for a hand, and he was a bad person. I think he was drug smuggling and like people trafficking and stuff like that. So Bruce Lee is sent there to try and take him out. But the other 2 guys are just there for the karate tournament. But that was the cover that he used to get into the island, was that he was going to compete in the kung fu tournament. The Kumatai, they call it a Kumatai, or is that only Bloodsport that has the Kumatai? But yeah, classic movie. Got some good action. Actually, some of the karate there looked a little bit, I don't know, maybe they're speeding it up more nowadays, shooting it from better angles and stuff like that. But it looked a little bit dated, the sort of the kung fu chops going on there, mainly the kicks. But yeah, interesting stuff. What was I going to say? Oh, one thing I was going to mention that I kind of remember, I don't know, maybe not necessarily more, but the old Kentucky Fried Movie. There's a film called Kentucky Fried Movie, it's like a comedy film from around the same year, a few years later, I think. But he did a whole skit based on Enter the Dragon. I think it's called A Fistful of Yen. So it was a mixture of A Fistful of Dollars and this Enter the Dragon. Anyway, let's carry on with this.
Fortress without walls, protected by an invincible army that needs no ordinary weapons. This is Enter the Dragon, the first martial arts film produced by a major Hollywood studio. John Saxon is Roper. He was in it for the money.
Bolo
US
Yang.
karate champion Jim Kelly as Williams. He was there because he had no choice. Black Belt Hall of Fame undisputed martial arts champion and international film star Bruce Lee. His job was to get them out alive.
I'm hoping you'll join us, represent us in the United join this?
Roper, Williams, and Lee. Just when they think they've broken the secret of the island, they find there is no escape from the inscrutable Han.
Definitely a misleading trailer, because they definitely weren't in it together, really, were they? So the two of them were just there to run the tournament, try and win the money. Yeah. I think they wrote. I think John Saxon. I think he did. Did he not die recently? Did he pass away recently? I think he might have done. But he did quite. I mean, he didn't really go into any bigger movies. I think he did lots of like B movies in the future. I can't say I know any movies that he was ever in. And the other guy, Jim, what's his name? Something Jim something or other. I can't remember. I'm kind of like my memory's lost already. But I don't know if he ever went on to other movies as well. But yeah, they're all good martial artists. But yeah, I don't think they went on to any other bigger movies. But this is the same. This was the first kung fu movie with a large, Hollywood blockbuster, like Hollywood-backed movie kind of thing. So, but it was very big in the 70s, wasn't it? Kung fu movies, kung fu comic books. There was even the TV show Kung Fu that Bruce Lee was meant to be on. He came up with the idea for it, but the stupid TV studios gave it to David Carradine. David Carradine? I think it was one of the Carradines anyway, or John Carradine, one of the Carradines. And he was the is it Kato, the assistant to the Green Hornet for a while as well. Anyway, let's carry on with this.
Warner Brothers presents Enter the Dragon, where the world's greatest martial arts athletes meet the ultimate challenge with the most ancient and deadly of weapons, the human body. Enter the Dragon from Warner Brothers.
Why did the claw have to have hair on it? I don't know why. Why did the claw have to have hair on it? Was that just to make it aesthetically pleasing? Give it some fur on the back of the tiger claw kind of thing? I don't know. Do you really need a claw attachment and a blade attachment? I remember in the Kentucky Fried Movie, he also has a dildo attachment, but that's not. I might do a reaction to the Kentucky Fried Movie trailer at some point as well. That was a classic. Yeah, that was cool. I kind of like I mean, I remember the film. Obviously, it's not been a while since I've seen it, but it's a classic of the genre. You know, it's a classic of the kung fu genre. Looking at the trailer, there, I wasn't sort of super impressed by the action, to be honest. I think the film was better than those scenes there. Maybe I'm just looking at it from a more modern perspective. Maybe seeing there's no John Wick. You know, John Wick. The action and everything is. I think a lot of it. Some of it maybe is sped up. Some of it maybe is shot from better angles. Quicker cuts and stuff like that. Quicker takes. It looks like some of those kicks in there almost look like they didn't hit even. You know, which obviously they probably didn't hit. But I'm sure nowadays they cut it away better and use, I don't know, some kind of technology or angles to make it look so that they hit a lot more than they do. But it's definitely a classic, and it's one of those ones, if it's ever on, like you're flicking over channels late at night and you saw Enter the Dragon was on, no matter how much was left to play, you had to watch it to the end just to, you know, refresh your memory on it. So but say, looking at the trailer, nothing super impressive with that trailer because it's of its age, isn't it? You see much more kind of hyper violent kind of films nowadays, but this was kind of like a very, very important milestone in these kind of genre of film, wasn't it? Really, without this, you wouldn't have had all the Jackie Chan movies, which were more my kind of era. To be honest, Jackie Chan movies was just like Jackie Chan could do no wrong, like in the 80s. Just like tons of awesome action movies with comedy, stunts, and just great fight scenes. You know. But that was, you know, definitely an important movie. A classic, definitely a classic. But say, looking at it now, not as impressive. What is it? Bloody well, 50 years later. Yeah, not quite as impressive 50 years later as it would have been at the time. That's for sure. And and as it was probably even a couple of decades ago, it was still pretty impressive. But I think now, with everything that's come after it doesn't look quite as dynamic, quite as hard hitting as it did. But yeah, still an awesome bloody movie. Anyway, what do you think of that trailer? Obviously, it's a classic film. I'm not slagging the film off as it's massively important in the genre, you know. But what did you think of the trailer? Looking at it now through like modern sensibilities, what's your reaction to my reaction? Give us a comment down below if you've got anything you want to say about it. Hit me up with a sub if you want to check out some more reactions from me in the future, and don't forget the all important thumbs up. Oh yes, we all like a thumbs up, don't we? So make sure you give me the woohoo thumbs up, woohoo, ow, because yeah, everyone likes a thumbs up. Anyway, I'm out of here. I shall return with another trailer sometime in the future.